Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick video about the Sony VG900. This full-frame interchangeable lens camera from Sony is based around their E-mount, and when it launched 2 years ago, it came with the LAEA3, which was an adapter for A-mount glass, and that's because at the time there were no FE full-frame E-mount lenses. So if you wanted to use full-frame glass from Sony, you had to use a converter. Now Sony has updated that converter. Now we have the LAEA4, which incorporates the translucent mirror tech that Sony uses in their Alpha line of digital SLR cameras in order to autofocus. And it actually replaces the autofocus system that's right here on the VG900 or the A7, A7R, or A7S. But now that we have full-frame E-mount lenses, we can actually utilize them on the VG900. And in my opinion, that's part of the reason that Sony has not replaced the VG900, is that even though it can't capture 4K, and I wish a firmware update would amend that or correct it, the VG900 still stands alone when it comes to, I would say, the best value in being a full-frame hybrid long-format video camera. Most videographers will use digital SLRs to capture the sort of quality that the VG900 is capable of delivering, both in still as well as video, especially if you're looking to expand and utilize a wide array of professional grade accessories. The VG900 really is a broadcast level video camera. So if long format is your business and you do have interest in the flexibility of an interchangeable lens system, at launch 2 years ago, this was a daunting device, because even though it offered so much potential with its OLED EVF here, which is fantastic, incredible onboard audio, even though likely you would be using external, very competent controls. Granted, I'm not in love with the actual menu system that the VG series camcorders integrate. The fact remains that the 24 megapixel sensor at the heart of this experience, right now, by the way, this is the SELP 18-200 power zoom, which is an APS-C crop lens, so this is not a full-frame lens. Still works on here natively because it is an E-mount lens, and essentially what that equates to in performance on the video side is still very, very good video. But with a full-frame lens, of course, you are dealing with a full-frame sensor. And now that we have so many new FE lenses coming out, that really is going to be the difference for so many of you that I think were hesitant in buying into this system when the E-mount was still in its own right in its infancy. Now that there is a full lineup of FE lenses that are all slated to be here at least by March of 2015, I think the VG900 has become a very attractive video camera. Again, no 4K. It would be great if Sony would give us a firmware update of any kind for this, because to my knowledge there hasn't been one, which is really sad considering, again, $3,300 at launch. Granted, it was really a proof of concept and the first full-frame E-mount camera ever made. Today, it is capable, in my opinion, with the right software, to hang with the competition, maybe even best everyone out there. So hopefully Sony would do something like that, but I highly doubt it. But as I've mentioned, for those of you that were worried, cautious, now with all of the FE glass and still the ability to use adapters and put anything you want on the front end of this full-frame digital SLR video camera, essentially, that is mirrorless, I mean, show me another product that competes with it. Yes, if you're after 4K exclusively, which I don't blame you, I'm recording this in 4K right now on Sony's AX100, this isn't the best device for it, and that's why I keep saying hopefully Sony would throw us a bone. But the reality is it's going to stay in its current form, and for those of you that aren't worried about 4K right now, in the near future even, but if you are in the video market, of course, I would say you should be, but there are many that do want this, hybrid ability. Again, I think for a videographer, weddings, this is an amazing piece of hardware, but I've seen this used in broadcast situations many times, photojournalism, whatever it may be. You have a device that can do it all, and the stills on this are just stunning, especially when paired with competent glass, which now there actually is native competent glass on the way. You've got the 24 to 240 coming out, which should be a great zoom lens full frame for this, even though it's not the fastest piece of glass. The rest of the glass that's out there, the best video lenses really are the ones I've reviewed so far. The Zeiss 24 to 70, the 16 to 35 is going to be another great one. They all have stabilization. They're all f4 across their range. The 70 to 200 G lens, again f4, a great video lens. So there are so many great native video options right now when it comes to glass that the system, of course, also is only going to grow. We even have faster glass like the 35 f1.4 coming out. So the VG900, in my opinion, especially since, by the way, that $3,300 retail is gone with the wind. I mean, you're looking at now under $3,000, easily only a little over $2,000 to pick up one of these video cameras. So I have to say, as much as I often will say X, Y, or Z is my favorite camera, if you forced me to select only one camera to own from everything that's in the stable right now, the VG900 really does put everything else to shame when it comes to giving the best video and still capability that the E-mount has to offer. And since I do have a collection of E-mount glass, this, even over the A7R, is going to often be one of the most compelling options because again, long format video and just more capability in so many ways. Granted, it doesn't have that 36 megapixel sensor. It does offer a lot of things, really the best of both worlds when it comes to still and video in the E-mount realm, at least until we see a 4K option with a full frame sensor for still side activity. And that's what I'm personally waiting for and hoping that we see. Of course, the A7S was an answer to that, but external capture is something I'm not a fan of personally. I'd rather see a bigger body like this and give me onboard capture that is affordable. We still have not seen that from Sony. Hopefully that's something eventually in the works, but that's why I shared this update on the older but still very competent and, in fact, in many ways a beast, a killer, whatever you want to call it in the DI world, the VG900. Despite its shortcomings, its issues that many have with it, I think the sum of its parts really do equate to one of the best pieces of video equipment and still capability devices now with the range of glass. And of course, you could stick any piece of glass on here as long as you're comfortable with manual focus and an adapter ring in between it and the sensor. So that pretty much covers my update on the VG900. Still a stellar camera, much like it was on day one. Now it just has a stable of glass that didn't exist and a much lower price, which makes it a far more attractive device, in my opinion, than it was back at its launch in 2012. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.